Alright, we will make one more video before we get the channel back on track with my plans. I'm going to try and keep it short, but you know how I ramble, anything could happen. But we'll start off with this. It's a 3D printed cat skull. I made sure it was a cat. We don't want to get too morbid, and it's got a golden ankh, so, you know, Egyptian stuff will go nicely in my Egyptian collection. I think that black plastic. I think that's black plastic. Like, I thought it was painted at first, but no, it looks like plastic, but you can't see any of the printing lines, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, no, I got it from the Oddities and Curiosities Expo in Sydney today, and it wasn't really my thing. It was more of a, like, taxidermy and witchcraft kind of vibe, but interesting, and I wanted to walk away with something because I've been on a bit of a retail therapy kick, which you guys don't know about yet, but you will find out soon enough. Yeah, I wanted to walk out with something. This is the only thing that really appealed to me. As I said, Egyptian collection, cute, cat, whatever. No, I really overdid it in the past few days. I won't go into any details because I'll just get carried away. But basically, so yesterday, I had to pack all my stuff. I got myself all dressed up, and then I went to dinner with a friend. I actually kind of crashed the dinner. I wasn't meant to be there originally, but you know, plans change. Yeah, went to dinner with a friend and her friends, and yeah, that was I survived. I did well, I talked to people, but yeah, about halfway through the dinner itself, you know, like there was too much food, and I had really slowed down, and, you know, because I don't really know them, how much can I say? Like, I did participate in conversations, but at sometimes I was just like, why am I here? And then after that, you know, we got dessert. Dessert was really nice. Dessert I was on board with, but then the conversation kept going, and it's sort of like, it's getting late, but yeah, I'm like, and then when we finally did break up from that, like, only one guy left, and he went in his direction, and the rest of us were going back to the car. But there was this market. They were just packing up. It was 11 p.m. and they're just packing up. And so the group was like looking at some of the stalls that were still left. And I'm like, oh my God, it's so late. And yeah, and then it was a long drive, long drive. And I stayed the night at my friend's place. It's been ages since I stayed at anyone's place. Probably one of the big reasons that I haven't done anything like that is because I wanted to be home for my dog, because he's super anxious, and, you know, I didn't trust anyone else to look after him, especially after his 2020 crisis, and just, yeah. But also, I'm kind of not a stay over at people's houses kind of person. But I did it. I met her dog. Very different to the dogs that I've been around. Quite large, very short hair. Like, I thought Labradors were short enough hair. No, this is really short, so that when you pat it, you're like, what? This is fur. It feels very different. And then also very stocky dog. Not really any, like, fat to, like, wobble around when you're trying to pat its tummy. And yeah, kind of, like, very sweet, but kind of not my kind of dog. But yeah, no, so I finally met the dog, and saw, you know, my friend, she moved into that place. I don't even know when. It could have been a while ago. I've completely lost track of time. But yeah, I stayed the night there. So first time I've stayed the night anywhere in a long time. It was on this couch thing, but it's not like a normal couch. It's like really huge and flat, so you can lie on it like a bed. It just feels a little bit overly firm for a bed. And I did sleep, but by the time we got back, and by the time we all got settled down and everyone said goodnight, it was like 2 or 2:30 in the morning, so there's that making me tired. Sleeping in a strange place took a while for me to drift off, and then, you know, it was quite warm there. I'm used to this place being quite cold. You see me wearing shit like this all year. Yeah, no, it was warmer than I'm used to. Also, I think the weather in general was just warmer and more humid. And then I heard traffic at 7:30 in the morning, so, you know, maximum 5 hours of sleep, in a strange, I mean, you know, I have never really slept that well in strange places. Yeah, and then getting up, getting dressed, putting all the, you know, did my eyeliner again, and, yeah, then I think we had originally wanted to get to the expo early, but yeah, kind of slept in a little bit. And so I'm like, let's go get Macca's for breakfast. That was good. And I got my tea there. And then we went to the expo, and it was quite warm and humid there. And like, it was so crowded, so damn crowded. So like, there was air conditioning, but only at the edges. When you actually go into all the stalls and you get in the middle of it, it was actually quite warm. Yeah, and it wasn't really my kind of thing. I would weave in and out to try and get a glimpse past all the crowds, and then just sort of see, yeah, that's not what I'm into, and just bounce back out. Yeah, I think like it was mostly like, as I said, taxidermy and witchcraft stuff. So this was one of the stalls that I was actually able to get a much easier view. Like almost no one was there, and I think it's because once people knew that it wasn't a real skull, they lost interest. And I'm like, okay, all right, that's fine. It's mine now. I can get in there. Yeah, I think people were very much into the living, or well, not living anymore, kinds of stuff. And yeah, every place that sold any kind of taxidermy related thing, whether it was like actual taxidermied animals or, just like snake skins or bones of animals or pinned insects, anything that had anything like that was super crowded. And one of them I could barely even see, like I had to come right in the side and could hardly see anything that was there. But the main thing they were selling was taxidermied ducklings, and I overheard a couple of furries saying that they waited an hour to be able to buy their taxidermied duckling. And I'm just like, okay, I don't understand the appeal, but whatever. Like, yeah, there was some weird stuff. Like, I saw this guy, he had this frame of like maybe 5 taxidermied mice in a spiral. Maybe it was 6, I don't know. I'm just like, you're gonna stick that on your wall? Okay, all right, you do you. Yeah. But the one with the taxidermied ducklings, so it was called, I think it was called Odd Mountain, and they're up in Katoomba, in the Blue Mountains. So, you could go there and, but, that's assuming you want to travel up there. Yeah, no. So that was pretty full on. There was also like, yeah, the witchcrafty stuff. There was actually people doing like psychic readings. I'm an atheist, rusted on atheist, so I don't believe in any of that, and I wasn't really interested in like smelling stuff or there were people selling candles. A little bit into candles at the moment, but yeah, well, I'm trying to get into the candles, but I have done candles before. But I mean the candles that smell nice. Gonna give them a go. Gonna start burning things again. I used to do that a bit on my channel, didn't I? But yeah, no, the candles were like overly elaborate and yeah, kind of not my thing. Like one of them legit had hundreds and thousands sprinkles in the top, and I'm just like, oh no, that might have been at the market actually. I might be getting confused. I've seen too many candles. I'm so tired. But yeah, what else was at this expo? There was one like tattooing thing. They weren't actually tattooing people there. It was more like, here's our designs. Come and get a booking and blah blah blah. Yeah, sort of custom dolls. Kitty Pillar was there. You remember I got that arachne, spider lady doll. Yeah, so she was there. Couldn't really get in to see a whole lot because there's everything, so many crowds. Oh my goodness. Oh, so that was a bit much, just like being around so many people. People's fashion was interesting. I can get into that, but the actual point of the thing was like, yeah, nah. What? Yeah, custom dolls. Some of there were some like fashion things, but they tended to be tarot related or like some kind of occult theme. Yeah, but there was also performance. That guy was pretty good. He did a few performances that day. I think there was also someone else performing, but I didn't see that. I missed that. Yeah, so went to that with my friend, and then I met up with my guitarist, and she drove me home. Thank God, because the public transport was not looking great. And yeah, we got a little bit lost on the way home because the phone was telling us the wrong stuff. So that was an interesting drive. We could have ended up in Canberra. So yeah, that was a bit also like, so there's just like a lot of things. Like once we got back here, we just had a cup of tea and chilled out, and yeah, I've been trying to deal with this headache that I've got now. But yeah, it was really like really full on. I did too much. Like I was trying to be a normal person. Well, normal. I don't know, like the kind of person who leaves the house, but I really overdid it because, like, there was the dinner, and halfway through the dinner, I was already like, I don't know if I should be here. I mean, I wasn't even meant to be there originally. I kind of crashed it, so I'm like, ah. Yeah, so I was already like, ah. And then when the dessert conversation kept going, and then, yeah, in going through that market thing. And there was also like, those claw machines just before closing. They went in there and my friend won a few things. But yeah, I was just like, I don't do the claw machine things because I know that they're the way that they're set up. I'm just like, I'm not going to. I would rather just buy the things I want than fuck around with these machines. Yeah, and then long drive home. I did have a good conversation in the car though with one person we were dropping off. But yeah, very long drive to their house. Strange bed, strange dog. Oh, also at the McDonald's was the one that I used to, like, when my ex used to drive me home. It's that same McDonald's, so I recognized everything, and I'm like, gee, this place hasn't changed. Yeah, and then the expo, not really my thing, and really, like, crowded, so many people, and trying to, like, get through all that, and knowing that it just wasn't really my thing. Although they were like, people liked my devil cat that I usually put on my shoulder, and I also had, like, this huge bag, which you will see eventually. They ask you, where did you get it? Yeah, and it was hot and humid, and then getting lost on the way home, and it's just like, that was a lot, and so I'm tired, as I said. Anyway, no, did I ramble enough there? I think this is, by the way, but they don't really have, like, a proper website or anything, so, yeah. Anyway, no, I also just wanted to say a few extra things. Where's that stuff? Because I know not everyone reads pinned comments. So, yeah, with the next 7 videos. So the next 7 videos that I plan to post a couple weeks ago. But then, yeah, my poor little dog had all his... Yeah. So one of the things that's hard about that is I actually haven't finished editing all those videos. Only one of them is like edited, I think, and ready to go. But yeah, in some of the others, I know that my dog Hope, he does appear in some of them. And in one of them, he's a little bit cross with me because I was behaving differently and sort of didn't let him go where he wanted to go. I think in others, though, he's happier, but it's just like, I have to sit down and edit that. And it's probably going to look a bit weird on my channel as well, being out of order. But I've also filmed other videos that I think, I can't remember if he's in it. Like, I've been filming some things disjointedly because I just haven't had time to put things together. And so I don't know if he's going to appear in more of that. But the next 7 videos he definitely appears in. And I'm just like... Yeah, it feels kind of jarring. Like, I don't feel guilty about the one where he's cross with me and I didn't let him do what he wanted to do. But it's just jarring. So, yeah. You will see a little bit more of my dog in the videos coming up. Another thing I didn't mention is, okay, so with All Hope's stuff, like, I had just, not that long ago, I had bought enough new supplies that, like, there's a whole thing of wet food, like a whole tray of 12 cans that I haven't even unwrapped the plastic on. And then there's 4 bags of dog food, 2 Chihuahua, 2 Maltese, because he's a Maltese Chihuahua. Yeah, there's like 4 bags that completely unopened. And, I've got to go, I think there's even like a few treat things that haven't been opened. So, yeah, I've got, like, when I go through my stuff, I'm actually planning to give a lot of it to a rescue shelter because Hope did come from a rescue shelter. I don't know if they're still operating. They actually posted something on Facebook in the last day or two, and I'm like, oh... But there's nothing, like, I don't think they even have the website properly, and they don't advertise that they've got, pets needing rescue, so I don't really know what their deal is. So I'm going to probably donate some of his stuff to actually one that's closer to me, and they've got a pretty good reputation, so that's where I'm going to put a lot of that stuff. I need time to sort through it all and figure out what do I want to keep, but definitely those, like, food things I'm going to take to the rescue shelter and donate his stuff to them. That pinned comment on that video. What else? Yeah, no, with the open food, open treat packets, And also when she picked me up, I gave all the open food, also like the old tub that we used to keep the open food in and all that. I've given that to her and her dog, my friend's dog. Yeah. And so, like, if the rescue shelter doesn't take some of Hope's stuff, because, like, there will be things like, well, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to keep at this stage. I need a little bit more time to think about it. But if there's anything that, for whatever reason, they don't take, I'll probably give that to my friend and her dog. He's also got a lot of old medication. I think most of it's expired, but, some of it, like, especially the seizure medication, there were 3 more pills in that he didn't need. So I don't know if the rescue shelter needs medication, so I might actually give it to his local vet. They looked after him through a lot of his crises and, recommended Sash, who helped him through his immune-mediated thrombocytopenia episode. So yeah, maybe they can use it for some other pet. They might, I don't know if they charge people for those kinds of things, where it's like me returning something that they're getting for free, but I don't know, like, why waste a drug, basically, and then they can, dispose of the other stuff properly, instead of me just chucking it all in the bin, and that's not really what you're supposed to do. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to do with his stuff once I've had enough time to just think about it. Maybe the medication I should get onto faster, because that will go out of date faster, but whatever. And then the only other thing in that pinned comment was just like, as I said, I'm an atheist, so all of you guys, I know some of you mean well, but I don't believe in an afterlife. So, this and the box of ashes, that's all that's left. And I don't believe that there's anything. Like, when I'm dead, I will just be dead as well. And I don't find those kinds of things like, oh, he's gone to heaven. That's not comforting to me. It's just annoying. I have had some superstitious stuff happening around me, but it's all coincidences. And I think because I've been upset, my brain is kind of looking for those things to try and make me feel better. And like, okay, fine, I'll just let my brain do that, but I don't actually believe that there's any kind of superstitious stuff going on. It's just like, yeah, weird coincidences. So yeah, just let me do my grieving my own way and try not to impose your beliefs on me. So that's the thing I wanted to say there. Yeah, but so the next 7 videos were filmed before all of that happened. Like, the last one is literally the day before. I think maybe the last 3 might have all been filmed on the day before he had his first seizure. And so, like, yeah, the other jarring thing is that I look cheerful and energetic at that point. But yeah, you'll see. There's been a lot of things going on, some interesting developments, and things have gotten a little bit off the rails lately because, yeah, after, like, the day after we said goodbye to Hope happened to be Black Friday, and I may have gone a little too far with the retail therapy. Which you'll see eventually. Then I was already a bit off the rails before that as well, so I don't know where my life is going at this stage, but no, I think in last night's video I did say something. Was that last night or the night before? In the night before's, because I was at my friend's place last night. No, in my last video, I mentioned, am I changing and I'm going to upset some of the schizoids, but after this couple of days, I'm like, oh my god. I think I'm changing, but in, like, my own way, where I'm not becoming more social. I'm sort of like, okay, cool, I did the thing. I hung out with a bunch of people I didn't know. I stayed at someone's house. I went to a big event with big crowds. Okay, I tried them all, and I'm like, yeah, that's not me still. So, I'll just keep, like, I've got a lot of ideas and stuff, but I'm going to do things mostly at home and mostly in my local area, I think, and not do a lot of that stuff. Really, I'm not changing that much in those areas. Whoa, everything went blurry. Yeah, wow. I'm not changing that much in those areas, but there are things that are changing, and I will explain some of that later. Anyway, I think that's enough because that turned into a 20-minute video and it was meant to be a short video. I guess it's short-ish. No, it's pretty long. But yeah, I'm gonna go and then I'll upload this, and then maybe tomorrow, if I can get on to editing more stuff. I don't know if I'm gonna be ready to post everything tomorrow, to start posting tomorrow, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah, cool thing for today, before I forget about it, before it gets all dusty. I've got so much stuff to clean up. Oh my god. Too much is changing about my life. It's too much.